As part of its objective in driving organizational efficiency amongst corporate firms and government agencies in Nigeria and Sub-Saharan Africa, Phillips Consulting Limited, in partnership with Human Capital Growth Group, launched the management certifications, which is geared towards broadening HR practice and process in the country. Giving the opening remarks, Mr. Paul Ayim of Phillips Consulting shared why the partnership with HCG will transform the human resources landscape in Nigeria.
Over the years, we've seen that a lot of effort that those in this HR space put in have been in operations. In fact, a recent statistic shows that close to about 70% of efforts in HR are tied up in operations. And we thought, how can we change that language? How can we begin to raise the bar and literally begin to create almost like what I would describe consulting units within HR businesses in Nigeria? So our interest here is to look at how we can move HR people into that strategic area of impacting businesses with what they do in HR and have a strong voice in the boardroom. And so we see this collaboration today with HCG as an interesting one that we believe will bring a lot of interesting things for HR businesses or HR departments in Nigeria.
Dr. Shey Ashrak-Abani, founder and CEO of Human Capital Growth Inc., described Nigeria as the first entry point of the HR learning and development group in Africa, which will be an opportunity to expand the scope of its operations.
I want to mention that we operate in, we are headquartered in the United States. We have an operations team in India, and now very pleased to add Phillips Consulting, our partners in Nigeria, as one of our key stakeholders and partners in the effort that we are looking to drive, particularly around reskilling HR.
Just tell us how this will improve talent management and leadership experience for HR experts in Nigeria and eventually Sub-Saharan Africa.
The results that we have seen in other parts of the world, particularly when we launched in Central Asia, in India, and here in the US, is that companies are they're doing fewer things, but doing things that drive better outcomes when it comes to retention, engagement, attracting better talent, leadership. And we hope to bring those same kind of outcomes to Africa, help you do better than where you are today.
In terms of the modules you have, how rich are they to really equip the HR experts to really carry out their jobs effectively?
The third element is the metrics, which is asking the question, did we get the desired results? How far are we, and what can we do to improve? So that is what is in the curriculum. What we also do is we look at emerging practices in the area that one may be getting certified in our office hours. Address these also we also do a lot of public service work, which is invite experts to podcasts. So for example, what we are seeing happen in the United States today is a lot of fake science proliferating the practice of HR. And we invite experts to look at these emerging topics. So more broadly, we are enabling HR and people managers around the world.
Mr. Robert Taiwo, CEO Phillips Consulting, and Mr. Paul Ayim speak further on the partnership.
Well, I think it gives us an opportunity to really move the needle because I think one thing that people don't really understand is the complexity of talent management in Nigeria, well, in Sub-Saharan Africa and also in Nigeria. And I think this gives us an opportunity to bring sort of evidence-based learning into the system, giving us an opportunity to really tackle the complexities that are within.
We, over the couple of years that we've been in HR practice, HR consulting practice in Nigeria, which spans, over 27 years, okay, as a firm, we've looked at how can we change the conversation around, HR and around people and so on. And so, it took us some while to get to this point. We wanted to look for a partner, who would have the kind of background that we have, consulting, who has, done evidence-based, projects in HR that has supported, to move the people agenda within businesses. And so, after years of search, we were able to find HCG, who proved to be, a worthy partner because of the kind of things they've done and because of the design of the program. Okay, so the program is designed to be business focused. We are looking at how can we solve business problems that are around people, and how can we ensure that there is evidence that those problems are being solved. Then how can we make sure that the people that go through this program are ready to do the jobs? So those are three things that are addressed by this program that we have. We see the future where HR businesses or HR organizations or HR departments within organizations begin to have a more consistent language around talent issues, okay, either from an acquisition point of view or from a retention point of view, or talent management practices that would support people, to stay within the business. So, for instance, people come into businesses and do not have any way of tracking their career. So you find our courses deal with career management issues, okay? And then we deal with issues around how can we improve the employee experience, okay? You hear a lot today around issues with people becoming frustrated at work, people committing suicide, and so on, because of the kind of work environments that they belong to. So there's so much talk around how can we help, even mental health issues around the business. So it's our goal that it's a great journey that is beginning today, and that in the next months and years to come, we would have helped to raise that level of language and bar for HR businesses or HR departments within businesses in Nigeria. And we will prepare their various departments, to be able to, speak the same language, consistent language. I mentioned something during my initial comments, today, that we're looking at how we can create consulting teams within businesses. Okay. Yes, it is like cannibalizing our market, but we believe that we need to move that needle, okay, so that HR practices are helped to grow. And that's why even the name Human Capital Growth. How can we grow human capital within our environment?
As Nigerian businesses, government agencies, and parastatals reposition themselves for 2019, the Human Resources and Learning Development departments, as well as HR consulting firms, have a great opportunity to access and benefit from the Phillips Consulting and HCG partnership, which will achieve talent management, leadership excellence, and certifications that will equip them to drive human capital, productivity, employee engagement, and their well-being.